What's up, skeletons? It's Skeletor here. Today I'm going to talk to you about some base design. Um, and once you get your walls up, some of the things you can do for sort of anti-3-star bases. So let's check out the attack on this base that I made up the other day. So if you notice, it's a base comprised of lots of big inside compartments, okay? And then a pathway all the way from the outside right to the inside, and then this big separated square compartment. So before, when I was in Town Hall, I made this base right at the end of being in Town Hall 9, and I didn't have these walls here in front of the wizard towers, and I didn't have these walls down here in front of the archer towers. Okay, so you could see that it was this just big sort of open like Christmas tree shaped base where you could walk into the middle from the outside. Now at first that seems pretty weak, but I want to talk to you about how that really disrupts pathing and why it actually ended up working against a, as you can see, max Town Hall 10 attack. Okay, so first things first, if they attack from the sides, if they attack anywhere above this army camp, basically, up to this army camp, all the golems are going to be attracted to this one cannon, okay? And you'll see that's exactly what ends up happening. And so what happens is, when I made this base as a Town Hall 9, and I didn't have these walls here, what would happen is they would attack this cannon, and then they would walk around to this wizard tower because it was exposed, okay? And what that does is it really makes this expo deceivingly protected, okay? And certainly it makes the queen protected because either way these golems are going to walk over to this archer tower or they're going to walk over here, okay? Now, so the thing to note is because this square section sticks out so much farther than the rest, when an attacker drops wall breakers, they're going to go right for this corner, okay? And so by dropping wall breakers even in this middle area, they're going to run over this corner. The golems are going to be attacking this cannon, and then they're going to walk over to this now open archer tower compartment. And so what will happen is that all the golems will get sucked into this square, and then they're going to be kind of left alone because the wizards were deployed like from this army camp down to that army camp probably in like a typical attack. And so what will happen is you'll see all the golems going this way, and then you'll get all the damage troops to go down this way and get hit with the wizard tower, the cannon, the mortar, that sort of thing. So that's the idea of this big square compartment, is that you eventually will get stuck into it and it's completely separated from everything else, and it's just going to be a huge waste of time. And the fact that you have this one space with path will really make golems and giants and stuff stutter step a lot, and there's really no good way to wall break in between those or anything, so you're just going to end up walking into that path. And then I got my heroes, and obviously I have my Teslas in there. I'll show you the replay, so you'll see in a second. But you get the Tesla trap in there, and the Tesla are particularly protected because of this, anti-space, this negative space, that's the word, this negative space compartment, okay? And so basically, all I have in this compartment is a square with the clan castle, and then 3 walls, just so that there's no holes there to drop troops. So it's completely filled as far as area, but there's nothing in it, okay? So what will happen is, if they attack from the bottom, they'll, let's just demonstrate on the side. So they'll attack up, they get to this air defense, and then it's just a big walk outside, okay? Now, I just put it up, again, I just put up these walls last minute, as a Town Hall 9 base, or as a newly Town Hall 10. So what'll happen is, as a Town Hall 9, if you don't have these walls here right in front of the wizard tower, they'll come up to this archer tower and the air defense, and they'll walk over to this archer tower, walk up to the wizard tower, and then they'll walk right outside, okay, because these walls won't be there. So it just suctions them back out They walk back around. They get to this big square. They get stuck in this square, and then they got to go back outside this way because really this isn't the closest path at any point, okay? So it's really deceiving as far as trying to target the town hall because of this negative space compartment. And then where the heroes are, it's actually, they're pretty much nested right in there as deep as you can go, okay? And so basically the whole point of this base is that it's deceiving how the core is protected so much, as well as you'll see that the clan castle is unlurable. So what I do is, if you remember the standardized clan castles we used to have, which I believe we're going to start going back to, which is I think one witch, 2 wizards, a minion, and then a bunch of archers, something like that. I have it all on the website. But because it's unlurable, they're going to come out, and then let's say they're attacked from the queen side. They're going to run out to like here, this compartment area, and they really screw up the, let's say, the Pikas or the witches. They do a lot of damage. They cause a lot of just stalling right there in front of the Expo and the Wizard Tower, and especially the Queen is just going to ping the damaged troops over and over because now the golems have walked over here, okay? And the Queen will just have free range to take out those damaged troops. So let's go ahead and watch this attack and see how it plays out. So, like I said, he drops the golems with a pretty decent spread, but they literally all go to that cannon because that is the closest defense. So it takes them a while to break through those first outer layers of walls. But now look what happens. All those wall breakers target this wall and not anything down here. So now in a second, his whole raid is going to sweep to the right, okay? So look at that, okay? So now he's got all these exposed wizards, the witches, the queen. I mean, notably, the heroes are low leveled, but that's not really an excuse. He does have absolutely max troops. So what you'll see is that all the golems redirected. They're all right there. All the wizards and witches redirected. And the queen is just taking out the king. Now, another thing that I sort of mentioned at the very beginning of the video is that you sort of have to have high-level walls to do this. So, obviously, I have all lava walls except for my new walls. But if you have all Lego walls, or at least the majority Lego walls, and, you know, like a 25% skull walls or something, or better than that, you should be able to make these sort of anti-3-star bases that screw up pathing. And I will say, I was able to build this based on the War Base primer that I made for you guys on the website. So if you haven't, please go check that out. It's got all this kind of stuff in detail about pathing and how to do walls and things like that. So check that out for the more detailed explanation. But yeah, let's go back to it. So because of those high-level walls, he has to use jump spells for everything, okay? And he totally wastes it. Now, a note about jump spells, he could have done that same jump spell, moved it over 2 inches to the right, and he would have gotten all 3 compartments. But what he ends up doing is he ends up wasting a second jump spell just to get into that compartment too, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I just need to get from that compartment to that compartment. Get as much as you can out of your jump spell. So that was a mistake. Totally wasted that. So there you see that they finally broke through that wall with the king, and the queen was just taking out wizards and golems. And now the clan castle comes out. So now he drops a heal spell, which I think is a waste. The haste was a good idea. He's going to get through a lot of my troops with the haste spell. But now see those Teslas start doing a ton of work because everybody was just attacking the clan castle troops. And so he's got to use his hero abilities. He's got to use a rage spell. He's got to use a jump spell and a heal spell. And then all those troops from all those BK barbarians are going to walk right into a double big bomb. The golems and stuff are going to eat a double big bomb. And now, here's another thing. So, I'm a fan of having 3 mortars on one side of your base, okay? So, as you see, I have 3 on the bottom, and then I had 1 on top, okay? And what that does is, especially with this negative space compartment, is that these mortars have range into this compartment. And so now you see they are going to run out of things to target. Well, they're going to target that clan castle first. And now what's closest? They're all going to go back out this way. They're going to walk all the way around again, okay? So they're going to waste a lot of time doing this. They're going to not have good options to target. And these mortars are just going to sit here pinging these witches, okay? Pinging that queen, pinging those wizards. So even when he has to use 3 jump spells to try to redirect, and that's just not going to work. There's not enough comes with him over there. Meanwhile, the Pikas and the wizards, the queen finally breaks through that compartment after that wizard tower does work. And again, it's putting your storages in key areas, so no matter what side you're being attacked from, your storage will always it'll always be in front of defenses. So I have a good mix of defenses, you know, whether it's an air attack, ground attack, good amount of defenses surrounding my storages at every point. So this whole flank dies because it got separated and then it attacked that storage over there. Meanwhile, these golems aren't doing anything. We got a troop of wizards over there. The Pikas died on the outside. And this queen is just not going to know what to do. So, again, this base design is really to sort of screw up golems at all costs. All these wizards are going to be, it's going to separate all the damaged troops. And it's really going to make the raid go really poorly. It nullified all the wall breakers up here, and it has all these paths in here so that once you get inside, you just suck back out because of this negative space, and it also makes it unlurable. So even though you can put your double big bombs there in front of the queen, there in front of the king, or there in front of the other expo. So next to the expos or in front of your heroes. You have, you can mix those up because they're really all good spots. I mean, look how long it took to get into that compartment in front of the queen, and they never walked into this compartment. So those really are a lot more protected than you think. It seems like that expo is real exposed, but it stayed alive for a long time. And certainly this one stayed alive for even longer, obviously. But keep these things in mind when you're trying out these base designs. These are the things you guys should be trying once you get to high-level walls because it maximizes the use of your high-level walls. Really, there aren't a lot of good things to Earthquake. Like, what is he going to do? Earthquake these 3 points right here? Like, what does that help? He's still going to have wall break into there. He's still going to wall break into there. And it's open already, so nobody's going to use Earthquakes, although this guy used 3 jump spells, so, But, yeah, so keep those things in mind. Try to make bases that are slightly more spread out once you have the walls to do it. And, if you have 2 or 3 extra defenses that you can't fit inside, protect them with these buildings like this and use them to most effectively screw up golems, okay? So I hope you learned something from this video. Come ask me if you have any tips, and check out my war-based primer on my website. And if you have any questions, let me know. And until then, stay spooky, everyone.